Well, Senator Ted Cruz did score a pretty big victory in Wisconsin. So is this victory the turning point for his presidential campaign? Joining me now, Senator Mike Lee from Utah, who's endorsing Senator Cruz. Senator, thanks for joining me. I thought it was a pretty good victory speech, if you will. Certainly a lot better than the Iowa speech. He gave a lot of policy stuff. But what I'm wondering is the American public, I think, still don't know, not familiar with Ted Cruz, who the person is. All we've heard is that he's this sort of standoffish guy that nobody likes. Is there a way that he can begin to chip away at that also?
Oh, I think there certainly is. I think he's chipping away at it every single day. He's touring the countryside, talking to people on a retail level, not just on TV and radio, but in person, all over the place. I was with him for the last few days in Wisconsin, and saw as he talked to people, mothers, fathers, everyone he could find around the state of Wisconsin. People see when they get to know him, when they actually meet him, that the public caricature of him, the badly butchered image of him that some would like to portray, is grossly inaccurate, and that he's in fact a deeply caring, considerate, thoughtful statesman, one who has a strong belief in the exceptional nature of this country and the need to restore constitutionally limited government. Senator
Lee, now Donald Trump saying Ted Cruz is a, quote, Trojan horse. He's being used and manipulated by the establishment. There's no doubt that the Never Trump crowd has coalesced around Ted Cruz, and people like Lindsey Graham on record as not liking him. How does Ted Cruz reconcile working with the people that he says, that he went to Washington to destroy, so to speak, and not come away looking like a hypocrite?
I'm sorry, but with all due respect to Mr. Trump, that is just absolute nonsense. That is one of the most absurd things I've ever heard.
But the establishment is starting to give him help, give him infrastructure help, and it seems that the establishment would rather have Ted Cruz than a Donald Trump. Or maybe they're playing him till they get to the convention and then they'll put in one of their own.
Well, I hope that's not true. I don't think that's true. But regardless, I've got to get back to the assertion that you raised with me a moment ago. The fact that there are some people who are part of the political establishment who are saying, yes, I support Ted Cruz, does not make him a tool of the establishment, does not make him a Trojan horse for ideas that Ted Cruz disagrees with. Because, look, I mean, you take Ted Cruz's harshest critics in Washington. The one thing that no one here would say about him is that he's a sellout or that he's some sort of an establishment shill. That is absolutely absurd.
His path to the White House, is it legitimate? He needs 88% of the rest of the delegates. I mean, I know he has to say that perhaps he can get it, but is he now really putting together a strategy to win this at the convention?
Oh, sure. He's putting a strategy to win it at convention. The task of winning it prior to the convention is, of course, a very difficult one. It's a tall order. It's not impossible. But I think there is a very strong possibility that Ted Cruz gets the nomination. Whether it's before the convention or at the convention, I think it's going to happen. I think it is by far the most likely outcome. Look, the overwhelming majority of voters, Republican voters in these primary contests, want someone other than Donald Trump. And right now the voters really have two choices, Ted Cruz or Donald Trump. Most of them are going to choose Ted Cruz.
All right, Senator Mike Lee, you've been one of my favorites. I love the work you're doing in D.C., and I appreciate you coming on the show.